I hope you did not trip as you were rushing to come and collect free booze. Awoof, they run belle. Seriously, you did well by rushing here because airlines are not open. They are not proactive about informing passengers about their rights. Yeah, they do it, but they're not required by law to always put it in your ear, force you to hear it. So in this video, I'm going to share some information about your rights as an airline passenger. If you travel within Europe, if you travel from Europe to other continents, if you fly into Europe from other continents, if you've ever lost your baggage, had your baggage delayed, had your flight delayed or even cancelled, been bumped off of a flight last minute, you need to watch this video. But before we start, I have some good news to share. Yay! I promise that I'll share it on my channel whenever that happens. Sendwave has added 3 more countries in Europe. Yay! So from today, if you live in Spain, Italy and Ireland, you can now join the moving train of those who can use Sendwave to send money to Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda. For those who don't know, Sendwave is a secure money transfer app that you can use to send money from these countries to these countries. For now, they are planning to add more countries. As I always say, they are working hard to add more countries. If you follow my channel bumper to bumper, I will announce it here whenever they add new countries. Okay, now that they are in Spain, let me show you how I transfer money to my own account in Nigeria. Kia. Remember, I always tell you that you can transfer to your own account in Nigeria. If you have an account in Nigeria, straight into your own account. You don't need to send it to another person's account. Remember, Christmas is coming. Let's go. Just go to Google Play Store or App Store on your phone and search for Sendwave. Once you see this penguin logo, that's the correct app. Install it on your phone, open and click sign up. Enter your full name, email address, phone number, and enter a secure password. Make sure you remember this password though, you will need it later. Accept the terms and conditions and click sign up. Sendwave will send a confirmation code to your phone. Enter that number here and wait for the page to refresh. Enter the name of the person you're sending to. I am sending to my bank account in Nigeria, so I am entering my name. Select the country, select the bank in that country, enter the correct account number and confirm it. Please make sure this number is correct so that your money no go lost. So save that and enter the amount you want to send. If you're using Sendwave for the first time, click the Got promo code link and type in my promo code FLOW so that Sendwave will add $10, £10 or €10 to your first transfer. This current promotion of 10 will end on the 10th of December, so hurry. You can see me, I got only €5 because they have not increased it to 10 when I did mine. The thing they pay me safe. Looking at this screen, you can see that Sendwave does not charge any transaction fees at all. Click send and enter your debit card information. That's where Sendwave will take the money from, your address and other personal information. Don't worry, Sendwave has the highest level of encryption security, so all personal information you enter into the app is safe and secure. Here, enter your password. I hope you remember it and confirm the transaction. At this point, you'll be transferred to your bank's website to complete the payment. Authorize the payment the usual way you do when you pay for something online, and you will see the confirmation that the funds have been delivered. The person you're sending to will receive it almost immediately in the account you entered earlier. You can see the money sitting pretty in my account in Nigeria. If you're sending for the first time, it will take a few minutes as SendWave does ID verification on you. That's to show you how secure SendWave is. They want to make sure it's you before they transfer the money from your account. Now, let's get into the main matter of the day. This is one of those videos that is difficult to make because there's a lot of information I want to share with you about this, to be honest, with my personal experiences. There's a lot of stories to tell, a lot of examples to give. For that, I may ramble a lot in this video, but just know that the aim of this video is to inform you. I'm going to inform you that this thing exists so that you're not leaving a lot of money on the table. Remember, I traveled to Nigeria this year, around June this year, and I had such an experience on that flight. I've had, as a frequent flyer, I've had numerous, like uncountable experiences related to this. But this recent one showed me that a lot of people do not know about it. This is about the first time it has happened to me when a lot of people are involved. Yeah. And I met a few of you on that flight. I told as many people as I could. I'm sure that a lot of people did not get their money from that predicament. Let me put it that way. Yeah, because that's when I found out that a lot of people do not know this information. So before I traveled, I booked my flight. Normally, the flight ticket cost me about 520 euros. It was an Air France flight. Yeah, on the day of the travel, the first leg of my trip went well. I was supposed to fly from Madrid to Paris, from Paris to Lagos. So the first leg was fine. The second leg, we finished boarding, Paris to Lagos. Mostly Nigerians, a lot of people from different parts of the world. They've flown in from different parts of the world, from the UK, from the US. We boarded the plane normally, and after a while, we were not, you know how you board a flight and I was getting to know my seatmates, and we were busy talking until we started hearing mumbling, and then we realized, we've been sitting here for a while. Why haven't we been pushed back, to go and take off? There was a lot of Chinese whispers that there's a problem with the plane. There was a problem with the air conditioner. Nobody has made any official announcement, so we didn't really know what was happening. But after some time, trust Nigerians now, everybody has started shouting, "Get us out of this plane. We are hot. We are this. We are that. We are hungry. Children are crying." And that's when we realized that we've been on that plane for about 1 hour. We were supposed to take off at about 2 p.m. that day. There was an announcement, we have a technical problem. They were trying to fix it, this and that. But we're like, no, we've been on here for a long time. If it's such a big technical issue, trust Nigerians now. I'm not going to fly this plane if it has such a big technical issue. Anyway, they decided to get us off the plane. If an airline makes a decision to disembark an already boarded airplane, it's a serious issue. Yeah, they got us back to the terminal building. As soon as I got into the terminal building, I approached one of their staff and asked what was the problem. I need to know what the problem is. This is very important to help you later, as you find out later. So she told me that they had a hydraulic problem, and hydraulic issue is pretty much a big issue when it comes to an airplane. They use hydraulics for the wings, the landing gear. A plane literally cannot take off if it has a problem with hydraulics. It cannot put in the landing gear. It cannot bring it out to land. So yeah, you don't want to fly any plane with hydraulic issues. So that's why they brought us on this. So they gave us vouchers. First of all, they gave us a €5 voucher to go and get a hot drink and all that. And later they gave us a €20 voucher to get a hot meal, because we were at the airport. Remember, we were supposed to take off at 2 p.m., but we were at that airport till 12 midnight. That was even when they announced that they're going to assemble another crew, because by then the crew would have worked beyond their maximum number of hours. There's strict number of hours people can work in the airline industry. So they were scrambling to assemble another crew, pilot, flight attendant. We were there for a long time. This delay has already broken all rules when it comes to the money you get, the money I'm talking about, which makes it a free flight for me. There are so many conditions. I'm going to put the link to the website, to the EU. This is about EU regulation. In the EU, they have a regulation to improve the efficiency of airlines, like flights and all that, to put them on their toes, to make them, to make their airlines more efficient. So they put in some rules that an airline passenger will be compensated if the person is bumped off of a plane. Yeah, that one has happened to me several times. In fact, there was another time, I think that was when I traveled to Nigeria last year. I was bumped off of a flight last minute and I was paid 300 and something euros on the spot. Because it's not my fault. I was early. I checked in normally. You know how you've already checked in your bags, gone through security, and you get to the gate and they were boarded. They were like, when I showed them my my boarding pass, it was red. You know how when you scan it on that scanner thing, it was red, and they told me to wait by the side, which means that the flight was overbooked. So which means that I am kind of on a standby. Yeah, that was also an Air France flight. Yes. But the first leg of my flight with that was Air Europa, because they are on code share with Air France. Air Europa here is a low-cost airline. To make sure that there are no empty seats on their flights, they usually overbook. Yeah, so that if some people don't turn up, at least they have people on standby that they can use to fill up that seat. Yeah, that's how they make money, actually. That's how they stay profitable. It's kind of smart, but it doesn't always work all the time. So on that day, I guess everybody that was booked on the flight turned up. So there were 3 of us that were bumped off. So they told us, oh, we are sorry, this and that, go to the ticket desk and they will speak with you. That day, I had to be in Nigeria that day. So I knew there was going to be a compensation, but my concern was I wanted to go to Nigeria that day. So I didn't want a situation where they will bump me off the flight and then give me accommodation like in a hotel and make me travel the next day. So I grudgingly went to their ticket desk right there, and then I filled the form and they gave me compensation. They didn't give me cash. I told them to put it in my account, 300 and something euros. Yeah, so that day, I was like, I hope you're not going to tell me to wait. I said, no, you're not going to wait. Don't worry. You get this compensation as well as fly right now. Go to the KLM desk, because this airline is on code share with Air France, KLM. So go to the KLM desk and they will sort you out. Don't worry. I went straight to the KLM desk and already, because when you're bumped off of a flight, you need to go and pick up your bags again, come up again and check yourself in afresh. Yeah, that's what happened. So, and I rushed to the KLM desk. They put me on a flight that was taking off immediately. That one was one of the most shocking ones, because the only difference was that instead of flying through Paris, I flew through Amsterdam. But the 2 flights arrived at the same time. Like the Paris-Lagos flight arrived at 8 p.m. that day, and Amsterdam-Lagos flight arrived at the same time. So this was 0 delay, and I got 300 and something euros in my pocket. This one is the funniest of all my experiences with this kind of delays. So who can benefit from this? You can benefit from this if you're flying into the EU on an EU airline. What I mean by EU airlines are all the airlines that are registered in EU countries, like all the airlines that have an EU country as their home country. For instance, Air France has France as its home country, so it's an EU airline. KLM has Amsterdam as Netherlands as its home country, so it's an EU airline. So, and so many others. You can easily find out the home country of any airline by going to their website. So yeah, if you're flying into the EU from outside, for instance, if you're flying from New York into, say, Paris, you qualify for this kind of compensation if you're delayed, if you're bumped off or something like that. But you have to fly an EU airline. But if you're leaving the EU or flying within the EU, you don't have to fly an EU airline. Any airline that is taking off from the EU is under this obligation. Yeah. Please fact check everything I'm saying in here, because anytime I have this, I have to go back to this website. It's a website where all the laws, all the conditions, all the rules about all these are. Another one is there's a kind of distance. There's different bands. If you're delayed for more than 3 hours and the flight is more than a certain number of kilometers, you're entitled to 600 euros compensation. No argument. You don't even need a lawyer. All you need to do is go to that airline's website. If you're one of those that usually book your flights with flight agents, the people that have offices on the streets, don't go to them when you have this kind of problem. Go to the airline you flew. Yeah, those are the people that will compensate you. So yeah, it's not just for those that live in Europe. Even if you live outside Europe, for example, all the people living in the USA, or even people living in Nigeria that, they traveled abroad for one reason or the other and they were going back to Nigeria, that were on that same flight with me, you qualify for this. Yeah. If you were on that flight with me, if you've ever experienced this kind of thing, you can still claim it, because in some countries, even if it happened 1 year ago, you can still claim it back. It's not too late to claim it back. Some countries, more than 1 year. So I'll also put a link or put on the screen. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Just pay attention to this video, to be honest. You don't need a lawyer for this. I think I said that before. I don't know, but you don't need a lawyer for this. Let me show you how to do it on Air France website. It's the easiest. When you get to their website, just scroll down to the bottom of the page and click the link that says claims. On the claims page, you will see different categories of claims. Baggage claims, use that if your baggage is missing or damaged. Under other claims, you have claims for delayed or cancelled flights. Click online form. If you have ever booked a flight on airfrance.com, you will have a username and password. Log in with that. If not, click continue as guest. It's a complaint. Select the category and subcategory. Check this if you're filing on behalf of, say, your child that was traveling alone on that flight. And I have to say something here. This claim is for everybody that has a seat on the plane. For instance, if you were a family of 4 traveling together when this happened, they will pay you this 600 euros per person that has a seat. I don't know if they pay for children that are lapped, but yeah, they pay for everybody. This 600 euros is for each person that has a seat on the flight. So if I met a lady that was traveling with her 3 children on that day. So if you're traveling with your family, make sure you claim for everybody that has a seat. Yeah. All the information you need to fill out your journey section will be either on your boarding pass or on your flight ticket. Fill out your personal data, your address. In this message box, I usually put in the exact reason why the flight was delayed. Remember when I said that as soon as I got off the plane, I asked one of their staff the exact reason why the plane was delayed. I just put it in here to tell them that I know exactly what happened, because not all reasons qualify for compensation. For instance, if the flight was delayed because there was a snowstorm, we won't get compensation because it is not the airline's fault. I'll put a link to more information on what qualifies and what does not qualify. There's a lot of information on this, too much information. For this one, I usually say no because I prefer they send me all correspondence by email so that I will have it on record to avoid tomorrow. He said, she said. I don't want story. Under request compensation, you can choose whether you want to receive your compensation as a voucher or in cash. They will try to entice you to receive a voucher by telling you that it has more value. But the catch is that the vouchers are only valid on Air France website and on their codeshare airlines. I always opt for cash. To receive cash, click bank transfer and enter your bank details. Click send to complete the claim. They will send you an email confirming that they have received your claim. Check your email. On that day, it happened, I think 2 days later after I arrived in Nigeria. They sent me an email apologizing for, the delay, what happened, my bad experience. And they gave me a 100 euro voucher, free voucher that I can use to book another Air France flight. And as you can see, the voucher is valid for 12 months. And they say this doesn't prevent any other claims. You see how they are kind of, dodgy about it. They're not telling you to claim something, that there's something that exists for you to claim, but they're just telling you that it's without prejudice to whatever else you're going to claim. That's why I mean when I say they're not upfront about telling you that, they don't advertise this because it's lots of money for them. But if you know your rights, you claim it, they pay you instantly. So when I got to Nigeria, I filled the form and I got the money in my account the next day. Yeah. I think 2 days later. Yeah. So I hope I did not confuse you with this story. I hope this story was not all over the place. Yeah. Trying to tell this story and get the facts right at the same time is not easy. Yeah, as you can see, I got a total of 700 euros, from that delay. Yeah. Delay is not a good thing. The guy was telling me that he was going to Nigeria for a wedding, and because of that delay, he has already missed the wedding. No amount of money can make up for the fact that he traveled to Nigeria for a wedding, missed the wedding. The only reason he came back to Nigeria for, I know that, but if he claims this money, at least he'll be happy at least that it wasn't in vain. Yeah. So I have 700 euros in the kitty. So I actually flew to Nigeria for free with change because I booked my flight. My flight was about 520 euros. So subtract that from 700 euros and I have 180, right? Yeah, 180 euros change. Yeah, so they actually paid me for flying with them. Click here for other ways to save money and invest. All this money that you're getting from all these airlines, you need to be investing them. Don't use it to go and buy clothes. Watch my investment videos. I'll file this one under investment. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye bye. See you soon.